Hello there and welcome to my weekly Wednesday live episode 47. It is year 2021, October 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern European time. But wait a minute, this is not the right t-shirt. Let's see what we can do with my magic plectrum. You see that? That's the one. Simpson Pim. Okay. That's better, isn't it? Cool. That's a better t-shirt for this day. So you can try this at home, people, but you need the magic pick. It says something like Mr. Fastfinger in it, whatever that means. So anyways, my name is Juha Ruokangas. Welcome, your humble servant on a mission from the gods, from the goddesses of fretted instruments, and today I will be interviewing one of those gods. He's actually eagerly waiting to get online in the green room already, but before I unleash our guitar superhero, a brief introduction to the topic for today. Okay, the music business has changed into something very different from what it used to be, say like 15, 20 years ago. Well, we're not going to go into all of that stuff today, but if you want to learn how exactly have things changed, there's plenty of information available, and I can warmly recommend a video by Rick Beato. He did in 2016 a video called The Big Question: How to Make a Living in Music. Search that video on YouTube and watch 25 minutes, a heavy package of information of how the music business used to function, how it functions today or doesn't function today. This is more focusing to the business in the United States, but the basics are the same everywhere. There's also this book. It's called the Rockonomics. What the music industry can teach us about economics and our future. A great book by Alan B. Kruger, highly recommended. All right, my guest is bursting from seams in the green room now, so let's tune into the right kind of gloomy mood in true Finnish style with this quote that I've shown you before. It's by Hunter S. Thompson. Let's just take it on screen. Okay. Music business is a cruel and shallow money trench where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs. There's also a negative side. That is our beginnings. And with these encouraging words, I welcome our guest, Mika Tyyskä. Hello, Mika.
Hello, magician.
You like
Master that? Magician.
You're thinking that how did he do that one? Well, so guys can guess in the chat. So
yeah, well,
we'll see.
A good magician never.
No, that's right. No, can't.
You know that.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
It's really nice to have you here. And so, what do you think of the Hunter S. Thompson quote that I just said?
Good men
die like dogs. Have you heard that before?
No, I haven't heard.
Okay,
it was pretty good.
I think it's pretty famous quote about music business. It's quoted like in a lot of books and places. And yeah, and I think I have it even framed on our wall because
good.
It's one of those things. I checked our YouTube channel statistics a moment ago when I was preparing for this interview, and guess which one of our videos is the most popular of all of the videos that we've published since 2008 on?
I don't know.
Well, it's that little 5-minute documentary of you.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. I don't know if it's strange, but I think it's very cool. That video has nearly 100,000 views by now.
That's very good. I mean, it was one of those. I remember when that video came out. It was slightly before I had that Troy Crady video that suddenly boosted a couple of videos on YouTube. So it's well, I'm very unpopular guy in general, but at times I'm kind of lucky and things kind of some things kind of take off a little bit, and this was one of those. I have one or two videos that kind of got a very nice boost as well, thanks to that Troy Crady thing.
Yeah, I remember that this came at that era, that time. And,
yeah.
And it's funny because it's like we have a video there, some videos of well, there's like Finnish very popular player Juha Torvinen or Rockstar Finland, and there's JJ Friends from Twisted Sister, similar kind of little documentary that was filmed in New York at his home. And cool videos, but yours, for some reason, it's the most watched one, like by far, by far of any videos we've ever published. So we're very, very happy about it, of course, that one of our videos has so much views. 100,000 views for us, it's like crazy, because
it must be the good licks, Mr. Fastfinger's licks that are being played in the video or some. That must be the real reason.
But it is a very nice documentary. It is a very nice little documentary.
Yeah, I've actually watched it a couple of times afterwards, and it kind of, it has a good vibe to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have here people already commenting. Do you see, by the way, these comments somewhere in your?
I don't.
Screen?
Maybe
you don't
I should
see the comments. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I should have them. I don't know.
Well,
If
I'm gonna bring up something if there's some questions or something from people. But for now, let's just say hi, Jill, hi, Greg, Vincent, Mibu, Peter, Eric, Chris, Poo Ninja, Damien. Hello, everybody. Keep those comments coming. But you can maybe log into the YouTube. Okay, now you have it there. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we can both follow a little bit what's happening there. By the way, I got the idea for doing this interview quite recently when listening to a podcast where you were as a guest also. This was a Finnish language podcast called Kitarapodi. So those of you who don't speak Finnish yet, Kitarapodi is yet another great reason to start learning. but anyways, it was a great interview, and I really enjoyed. Thank you, Atte Aho, Aleksi Näränen, for doing the podcast. It's really great. I've listened to almost all the episodes, and I will listen to the rest of it too. So thank you, and thank you for the idea for making this review.
Yeah.
So okay,
good one.
We will now rewind back to the humble beginnings. When did you start playing guitar, and why did you start playing guitar?
I started it is a kind of shady memory when I actually started playing the guitar. I remember even when I was young, there was this sort of cheap acoustic guitar, my mother's old guitar around the house. It had some strings attached to it. I don't know if anybody knew. I doubt that no one knew how to tune it or anything, but it was there, and I remember. I was curious about it a little bit, and somebody told me that if you want different sounds than the open strings, you need to push the buttons or kind of press there somehow. But I couldn't figure it out at all as a kid. But at some point, my older brother got a cheap Stratocaster copy, but we still didn't know how to tune the guitar.
Okay.
And but we were kind of wondering about how does the whammy bar work. So we were trying to do it like this, and it didn't work. And then I was back in school. I was musiikkiluokka. I don't know what's that in English. It was like music class. Yeah. So we had more music lessons during the week than average kids would have. And,
yes. Okay. So it was a school, like a class orientated more towards music. Yeah.
Yeah. So we we had guys who were somehow into music, and I was getting into music. I couldn't still play anything, but I decided I'm going to put a band together. I'm a band leader, so I was well. I could play a couple of riffs like Bon Jovi's "Runaway" and a few bars from the Hill Street Blues. That intro. that
It's a cool intro, by the way. It's a cool song.
it is really cool,
Yeah.
but just to
by
maybe
Mike
one
Mike
and a half
Post.
bars.
Mike Post has composed it.
Yeah, exactly. And Mötley Crue's "Home Sweet Home" intro as well. But anyway, so I formed this. I put a band together, and we decided that on Friday morning there was we were able to book the music class, the room from the school, and we came to the school 1 hour before the school would actually start. And first thing I saw that day was how to tune guitar strings into the keys of keyboard or piano. And I had a cheesy synthesizer Yamaha, which is somewhere over there. And when I got back home that day, I was able to tune the guitar at home to that piano, and that was kind of like this beginning for me, I think. And the next thing I did was I invented the pentatonic scale.
Okay, so you're the one.
Yeah, me also. I think quite a few guys have kind of invented it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like my fingering for the pentatonic scale. I still remember that because I had an acoustic guitar. I didn't have my brother's Stratocaster copy, but it was, on acoustic guitar, everything kind of ends around the 12th fret,
Yeah.
or after the 12th fret. So I actually figured out like kind of that was my fingering for the pentatonic scale until like maybe 1-2 years later when one guy, local great guitar player, Pete Kinnunen, showed me the classic the typical fingering for the minor pentatonic.
Yeah,
So,
the pentatonic that my career as a guitar player is totally based on. I feel very uncomfortable going outside that box.
well, yeah, but the minor, pentatonic is still that's where the most the best notes are usually located. Everything else is kind of like for
Spicing
adding
it up.
color and
Yeah,
so on.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's safe to say that many times the best notes are right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that band broke. What happened was in that band, I secretly started practicing guitar playing. I learned the chords. The guitar players in my band were struggling to play some of the chords, and I secretly practiced those at home. And then half a year later, I revealed that I actually played the guitar, and by then I think I was more or less the same level or even better than the guitar players. So I started after that. The band broke up because that was the end of 6th grade, and by the time we got to the 7th grade, yläaste, we put together a new band, and that was me on the guitar, and
Okay.
I stopped. So-called singing career ended right
Yeah.
there.
Okay,
So-
and so we're gonna well, this is not really tied into any particular era but like, okay, so you were the band leader, then with this band you were the guitarist, and so at what age did you start fantasizing, thinking that you would like to be actually a musician, like for real, like make music, records, and all this stuff?
One thing that I kind of remember when I was 12, I wanted to be the best 12-year-old kid in the town.
Okay.
And when I was 13, I wanted to be the best 13-year-old guitar player in the town. So that kind of, in a certain way, the guitar was one of the reasons why I started playing the guitar. I don't know if I actually said that. I think you asked it. Maybe you asked it, but I felt like it was finally something that I was able to be good at.
Yeah,
Because I sucked at school, I sucked at sport, and then just about everything else,
Oh, okay. Mhm.
and socialist and everything. But the guitar, I felt like, well, there's something that I can, do with.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
could be it. So and music, yeah. So I just got very excited and started getting.
Yeah, so you were like a competitive spirit regarding like wanting to be the best at your age and
Yeah,
well,
and
yeah.
and I felt like it that for a long time, like the whole seventh grade and maybe the eighth grade. But I think when we got to the ninth grade or the spring of eighth grade, our vocalist of that band, we had like a heavy metal band by then. Our
Covers by
vocalist,
what covers did you play?
no,
Or your own music?
it was a heavy metal band. We didn't play covers. We had
Okay, you
our
had your
own
own music. Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
so to
yeah,
say.
yeah. Own hits.
We wrote our own stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, we sort of wrote our own stuff already when we were in the sixth grade. So it was
So at that time,
some semi covers.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
So who would have been then if it was your own hits? So who would have been your biggest influence at the time? This time, eighth, seventh, eighth, whatever.
Oh, as a guitar player, well, I started when I started playing the guitar. I was trying to play along with just about any record I could feel like I could play with. So if the Anthrax had a new album, I played with along with the State of Euphoria album, and I had some like AC/DC. I had captured music from radio, and I tried to learn the cover of AC/DC cover of that "Baby Please Don't Go" and
Very cool song.
that riff. And but my idols were, well, they soon when I was I don't know 13 and so they became to be the kind of like all the metal players, but then the virtuoso guys. So it turned out to be all those. I thought Steve Vai was very interesting because he was kind of I felt at time that he was kind of outside the typical blues sound. That was kind of not so interesting to me at the time.
Yeah,
So
definitely, yeah.
that was more like from the space or somewhere other planet.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But I was listening to just about any players and trying to learn. And those days there were no internet and access to tablature books and stuff. It was kind of very limited. So whatever I could find from the local music shop that kind of were somehow interested, I was able to find the Whitesnake 1987, that tablature book, and it was totally it was bad transcription, so I had to figure out some of the stuff. But like, this doesn't make sense, and try and kind of figure out some of that stuff on my own. And like from the beginning, I would try to learn stuff with the ear, and so that was it was good aid, because many times there were songs that you couldn't find any notation tablature, so you had to somehow figure out from the records and tapes. But what the interesting thing was, like I said, I wanted to be. I felt like I'm the best guy in this age group, whatever. And then our singer suggested that we would take another guitar player and audition this guy who was 1 year older than we were, so he could come to maybe to play on our band. We thought, well, let's try it. I felt a little bit like maybe there's a little threat there, like another guitar player. I used to be, feel like I'm the only one there. But then this Ismo guy came to our band rehearsals, and he just like shredded like a maniac. He clearly didn't have any clue about keys or things or anything, but his ABC had been like Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock, this instructional video that had all the baddest badass picking techniques and everything kind of shown. So he came to our rehearsals and just
Yeah. So you
blew
were
our minds.
yeah. So that was a identity crisis for you.
Yes, sort of, but it was very good because what happened was we decided that this guy will be in our band, and we started. We had every Monday we had band rehearsals, but we also additionally on Wednesdays I would go to Ismo's house and we would spend several hours teaching each other whatever we knew, and also writing ideas for our band for like all these tapping, harmonized tapping stuff for the solo section and stuff. And we would really kick our each other's asses like big time.
Yeah.
And when we would meet at the band rehearsals, we would exchange our kind of like a self-written columns in style of Guitar World magazines, like draw our faces there in the corner, and then have all these tablatures handwritten there and share the licks. And
Have you saved any of these old scribblings?
Well, I have some of the Ismo's stuff somewhere somewhere
Cool.
in the boxes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool that era, and you've been very advanced, very elaborate way of learning. Well, now that you talked about practicing and you were exchanging licks, I remember both from watching. I watched many times that little documentary that that was made for our website of you, and also you were telling in more detail in this Finnish podcast about your practicing methods at the time, like, or was it maybe a bit later? I don't know, but very very disciplined. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
No,
Your
it was.
practicing routines.
I think. Well, you know, for Ismo, he was a naturally born, or somehow everything technique wise, he things kind of came out. At least to me, it came out more naturally. He would like picking technique. He would get that really authentic sound.
Right.
And for me, it was more like a struggle to get that thing going and sounding as good as him. So that was a good motivator. And there was like, I don't know, maybe was it the summer after the 8th grade or 9th grade? But well, I didn't have a summer job. I didn't seek for one, but I thought, well, if I would go to have a summer job, I could, get money and buy a new guitar. But on the other hand, if I don't have a summer job, I can stay at home and practice my guitar playing, which is more valuable. Well, it was practicing was more interesting, anyways. So I inspired by the. I have all the guitar magazines there, but there was this very legendary Guitar World issue with the Steve Vai. I'm not sure, it was like a 7-hour, 9-hour, 10-hour, or 12-hour workout. So it kind of like workout he had explained and like 1 hour of like an idea of how to practice 12 hours a day or 10 hours, and 1 hour for alternate picking, 1 hour for scales, 1 hour for I don't know, tapping techniques or bending, whatever, and 1 hour for stretching and stuff. And I was inspired by that, so I should have. I know it's over there. I should have. I still have that booklet, and I designed a program for me for the upcoming 2.5 months of the summer vacation. So one day I had morning starts with stretching. So I would do all these exercises. This hurts already. Like whatever kind of like painful things to make sure that my hands will somehow grow. And 1 hour just going through all these I think I'd explained this in the documentary, but there are the positions of the the scales up and down. Just 1 hour for that. 1 hour for just like whatever alternate picking licks and. But I had a program, and I wouldn't give up from that. I mean, I remember we would go to a summer cabin with my mother and a family, and I was still kind of disciplined and explained that I have to do these.
And it was
And
how many
if
hours a day?
if I don't do these,
So it was 5 hours a day.
yeah, it was 5 hours, and I knew that if I skip these today, tomorrow it'll be 10 hours.
Okay, so
So,
you were.
Yeah, and and I have to be clear. After the 5 hours, I would usually work on music and jam and play with the records and maybe transcribe stuff. And if I had a 4-tracker and drum machine borrowed from my brother, I would maybe create some music and work on other stuff. But the 5 hours was kind of the disciplined part
Right,
where I would
okay.
kind of do only this stuff.
Right. So during those 2.5 months, like a quick math, only just this disciplined. Was it 7 days a week? Or less?
Yeah, I think so.
7 days a week.
I'm not
Jesus.
sure anymore. Yeah.
So anyways, it's like it's 2.5 months every day that we're talking about, like during very short time, like hundreds and hundreds of hours, like 400 hours or something like that. Plus
yeah,
then
but
the
it,
jammings and all the stuff.
but it really paid off. I mean, the way I sounded before the summer, we did an 8-track demo with our band right before the summer, during the spring, and we did another one in the fall or autumn, right after the summer, and there was you can really hear like the focus
Yeah.
and the tightness, the change in my playing there. It was a huge difference.
So
I think.
people practicing does seem to help. We are here like
Well,
a
unless if you
testimonial
practice totally
that-
wrong.
Yeah, I guess so. No, I was just wondering because my bandmates are always telling me when we have band rehearsal and they're telling me that, oh, so you haven't, because I still don't know the whatever song where, and that they're asking like, have you practiced? And what? No. Why should you mean I should practice? No. No. Luckily
Yeah.
for me, it's a hobby and I take it semi seriously, but it's not, yeah. Anyways, back to where we were. Do you still practice this way?
No, and spending 5 hours like that or any hours. Well, there are moments when I might, take some kind of idea like that. But I mainly the way I kind of have evolved as a player the past 15 years, well, 16 years, was ever since Mr. Fastfinger came,
Yeah.
working on album, working on music, preparing for gigs. I take those more seriously. So when I'm working on recording something, sometimes thing might, especially early on when I was working on the first album, it was like easily, I don't know, 1,000 take to get some kind of lick recorded. So instead of focusing on editing skills, it was always about focusing on playing technique.
Learning the song. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so trying to capture somehow the sound that would hear in my head, how it should go, come out, and try to get it out. It could be a lot of work, and it still can be challenging at times, depend on the stuff that I want to obviously the level gets higher and higher, the skills are getting better, but it's still it's not always like water.
Yeah. Well, we have a comment here. Poo Ninja says he keeps forgetting that you're actually a cartoon character. Yeah. Mika is actually a cartoon character, which brings us. Let's jump a bit forward. Oh, you actually mentioned already Mr. Fastfinger. So,
Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Fastfinger. Well, we all know Mr. Fastfinger. I think all of us who are watching this probably know Mr. Fastfinger. Yes. So Mr. Fastfinger, a cartoon character. Why? Before you say more anything, just because earlier you were mentioning that you kind of when you said that you know your school didn't go so well and you felt that you weren't good in things, but then guitar came along and guitar felt like that now you can be really great, you can shine at something. But now I'm just guessing you also mentioned social skills that you felt that you weren't great at the time, and so Mr. Fastfinger kind of like inventing this alter ego, was this about shyness, about unwillingness to show yourself, or tell us why? Tell us about your traumas. I will heal your traumas. I will give you the medication prescription.
Let's heal them all together. Through the 90s, I played the guitar, and I had my. What happened was after practicing like a maniac on the guitar, I became more interested in composition. So I got it into composing music. Then it evolved to I'm kind of interested in production or recording, capturing sound. I got a computer, my first PC computer, to not only compose but also I could capture some audio. The technology has leveled up so much that with my some kind of budget, I would able to get some kind of computer to capture at least. I had a 4-track program, audio program on on computer. That was so funny. It looked like a 4-tracker, but then came some like MIDI sequences that would have audio, Logic and Cakewalk and stuff. But anyway, I got into production and getting sounds and I was able to make my own music and capture it and make interesting. I was playing around with sound effects and music and stuff. Weird music that wasn't meant to go anywhere. But actually, a couple of the songs later on that came out from that period, like Beach Turtles and Breathe, and the backing track for the Fast Fingers exploding guitar solo came from that time. So that was like 96, 97, that era. But anyway, I got kind of on that PC that I was having those music programs. I ended up having some kind of not so legal version of Photoshop. And that was kind of interesting. Well, you can do stuff with photos or pictures on you can, mess around with images. And then somehow I got to fast forward. I went to study multimedia and digital design in Lahti, Institute of Design. And so I got into animation and interactive design and website designing and that sort of things, and I worked a little bit on the side during the school years, and during the first year, during the first months, I got the idea of how about if I would kind of do sort of like what these instructional videos were in the early 90s, but do that with a interactive interface on the computer. So and I thought, well, having a keyboard and a lick behind it, and by playing pressing a key down, there would be this character who would play this lick, kind of like that. And I did a quick demo already in 2000. Before the Christmas break, and I thought it was really good. It had like a character that looked like the bass player of Spinal Tap. It was really funny looking.
Okay.
Like not too well drawn or anything, but it was kind of funny. And then fast forward 3-4 years later, I was scratching my head what to do with my final thesis work for the school. And I thought, well, there's no other project than I want to do a final thing before I go to be a professional. Let me do something just for myself. And do this thing for guitar players and combine absolutely everything that I ever loved, all the cartoon animations and guitar playing and these like shreddy licks and storytelling and interactive interfaces and everything, game-like features, putting all together, and let's do this thing.
Guitar Shred Show.
Yeah, and I started scripting and imagining the website that became Guitar Shred Show, and Fast Finger was one of the characters that I was originally thinking that would be one of the characters. One of the characters. But eventually I realized that I'm never going to make it if I try to do all these characters and all that stuff. So I just chose Fast Finger because out of the characters that I was thinking, he was the most interesting. Had most layers, like Shrek always says in the first Shrek movie. He had layers. And it would also represent my favorite guitar playing styles, the Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, Satriani, that kind of virtuoso thing.
Yeah, I remember when the Guitar Shred Show came out, and this was sometimes similar times when we brought out our at the time new website, and you did your stuff with Flash. We did our stuff with Flash. Our website was like 100% completely Flash. Flash was the hottest thing in the town and everywhere. And that was the coolest way to make things, animate things and make things look cool. And so I remember with our web developer, Junnu, regards to Junnu, I don't know if he's watching the live, comment Junnu if you're here. If you're not, I'll kick your butt because you're supposed to watch all this live.
Wow,
to get us more viewers. No, just kidding. But anyways, Junnu pointed out the Guitar Shred Show to me at the time, and already then he was the one who said to me that you should get in contact with this guy. But at the time, I found out when I was kind of looking into it a little bit. So I found out that this German guitar maker Ben Reuters had. Maybe he was making the guitar for you, or you already had the guitar. I can't remember how it was, but from somewhere I just found some kind of indication that you're working with someone. So I was kind of bummed that I missed a chance. But anyways,
yeah. Well, I remember when I was watching us. Good. When I was starting to visualize the website, when I drew my first pictures, somebody showed me Ruokangas that guitar. Builder thing.
Yeah, the guitar builder thing.
Yeah, I remember that, and and also remember when I saw you first time in Frankfurt Messe. I've told you. I have to tell this aloud because it was funny. I think it might have been in the Frankfurt. We met during the Messe. We talked something, I guess. But anyway. Yeah. But we met later, probably at Helsinki, where we were, waiting for our bags to come from.
The airport. The luggage. Yeah,
claiming the bags, whatever.
Yeah.
And you were there, like asking, "Are you happy with your current guitar?"
I was okay, and you were like, "Yep, I'm very happy." Okay, well, I didn't want to sound too desperate, but anyways,
you did.
Okay, I did. Okay, maybe I was a little bit. Well, eventually, it's very cool that we got to work together. I'm honored, and it's been great, and I've gotten even more importantly, gotten a great friend of you, so that's even more value that. But anyways,
we ended up working together. You building me a guitar kind of naturally because at some point I needed a little bit of service to my guitars, and I brought them to you to fixes, and then by the time also Ben stopped making the guitar, pretty much, and I knew that you would bring some different level to the instrument, and we started. You started fantasizing about the some kind of idea of Mr. Fastfinger coming to the factory in this video and kind of ordering a guitar or something.
Yeah. And we remember we were sitting in an airplane on our way to Frankfurt. We happened to have seats next to each other, and during that flight, we kind of conjured up the main plot of what such a movie, like a fantasize with a, you know, if such a movie would be made, or film or video, whatever, what would it be like? And that's how it kind of came to be. And then I remember that I was kind of thinking that through. Then the Frankfurt Music Messe started. You had your demos. You were playing at the Houston Kettner, and I was doing the stuff there. And then we met after a few days at the Music Messe, and I can't remember who was saying what, but I remember that I had been thinking about that it's kind of like stuck, the idea of such a video that would be cool to make it. Yeah. So that, but we don't need to go to that right now, because there are other videos made of that. So we're going back now to at the time. Let's say at the time, with the success of the Guitar Shred Show website, and you made your first album. Would you consider your guitar playing, your making music at that time? Like, I'm just, you know, considering our title for today, which was something about making a living in music. Would you consider at that point, you know, having the Guitar Shred Show website, making your first CD, first physical album like that? Would you consider
the CD came kind of way later. I mean, the CD came 2009, but the Guitar Shred Show already came in 2005.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so that took 4 years for me to finish it.
Yeah, okay. But we're kind of like now we're shrinking time a bit. And would you consider this? Let's say these 5 years. That Guitar Shred Show, the success of that, leading eventually into you making that first album. That was music at this point. Was it more a hobby? Were you working somewhere else? How did you make a living at the time? Or was this already providing for you, or what?
It was Guitar Shred Shows. When once it came out, then it became such a weird phenomena, and things kind of started spreading the internet and everything. What happened was, I started getting all these contacts and opportunities to do some kind of collaborations with some weird guys, but also some very nice companies. And so basically, when Guitar Shred Show came out, and Fastfinger kind of really took off. I mean, people really kind of loved the character, and I loved it. And I thought, well, I would love to continue with this character a little bit further, to do something else, like a sequel or something. And I found there was this Danish company, TC Electronic, which is famous for the effects and guitar pedals, and they really loved Fastfinger over there, and we ended up collaborating, and we would do a sequel for the website, and their Fastfinger would use their G system, this effects control and effects unit, and that was I got paid for money for doing that, and not only free gear or whatever, but it actually I got money for doing that, and so that was probably the first money that I actually made with Mr. Fastfinger. But that was mainly, I mean, most of the job was not about playing the guitar or making the sounds. It was a lot of animating and all that that interactive design and all that. And Also, well, there was some other things that I was able to do with Mr. Fastfinger, like that brought me some money, but it was kind of like more multimedia related money. And I was doing those days, I was doing projects for various clients. So I started doing work for Dream Theater. They requested me to do an animation right after Guitar Stretch Show came out. So and they requested the second one for the next tour. So that would bring me a little bit of money as well, and among other like visual based clients.
And got you very well connected also, like the
Yeah,
way you collaborate later with the guys from Dream Theater as well.
yeah, and there was wait a second. But what happened was 2007 when the sequel Magic Carpet Tour for Guitar Retro came out. Then I was there was this one school in Germany, modern music school, that requested me to come to do a like an open door day they were having, and requested me to do a clinic, like
Right.
a 1 hour clinic there, and jam during a outdoor jam with the local musicians. And so I went there, and when I was there, some guys from Hughes and Gettner, the company, amplifier company, which some guys came from there, and they asked me if I'd like to come to visit their factory in 1 month or so. And so they sent me a ticket, flight ticket, and I would go there, and they would request me to if I would like to come to play at Music Messe, where I probably met you for the first time. And then and those days also, my very first trade show was actually in Japan, where I was doing with the Japanese branch of TC Electronic. So that was a strange place to play first time live with Mr. Fastfinger. Kind of a long way from home, but it was really cool experience. And then things kind of got more into me playing, at least playing with a cartoon character, that kind of thing, like a duo demos for these gear companies. And then this German school requested if I would start doing like a weekend workshops for their professional program students. And I said yes, and so I started doing those. Every now and then I would go to Germany and teach these small groups. So that kind of got me started more as a teacher, sort of teaching guys, and then it kind of things started shifting towards doing more music and playing related things, a little bit further away from just doing visual animation and so on. So from the graphics to more music related things.
Yeah.
But so that happened between 2005 and let's say 2009.
Yeah, so everything is linked. Like from so and I guess up until today, as knowing you and knowing about your career and knowing about your making how you make your living, and so I guess it is still true that the way you make your living, it comes from little pieces, little streams there, here and there, and then it kind of comes together, and listening to you, like looking at the big picture, like really through the years, and how you explained, and the disciplined practicing, and you know that it's just been so hard work for such a long time that it has started to kind of carry you better and better over the years.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like, is this carrying anymore? Like it's not like it would go like automatically like this. It's like I had it's almost like I had a big bang in the beginning, and things
Yeah.
kind of go forward from there. But then there are like better, like more action. Then there's less action, and during when there's less action, I tend to do albums and so on. But also when I work on albums or when I work on music, I kind of have a tendency to kind of isolate myself. Like right now, I haven't done anything on YouTube because I kind of I'm kind of having a break because I just need that break from there. But also kind of it lets me focus on making the music. But it's
Yeah.
getting the thing done and get things together. But it's
Yeah.
at times it feel like they're like better, more action, then there's less action.
Yeah.
It tends to go like a bit like this.
I'll bring in a comment from Guitar Cook TV. Just to mention, he asks, "Is this video still available somewhere?" I think this comment popped up when we were talking about the movie project we did together, and it is definitely out there. It's called "The Spirit of the Guitar Hunt," and you can find it from the Mr. Fastfinger Mika Tyyskä's YouTube channel. A half an hour feature film.
Yeah,
It's there. A crazy project. We've done some video together, talked about that, how it came to be and all that. But
yeah, we did that stream on.
That's right. Yeah,
that recording is on my channel somewhere.
That one is there
roll down
too,
a few years. Yeah.
And here Mipu says, I find it interesting how the initial Fastfinger idea developed. It's really, I think it's that's and also the fact that how popular it became at the time. I don't know how much people you had some statistics. How much people were following that, and I think it was something crazy at the time.
There were several millions of in like just the very first years. There were several millions hits, and that was a time when there were no like social media. There was no YouTube or anything or Facebooks or such at all. So it was kind of spreading through forums and blogs and emails.
Yeah,
and it was. I mean, one of the strangest things that somebody has ever told me was when I met Dream Theater first time. John Petrucci said to me that, Joe Satriani emailed me and Steve Lukather this link to your website.
Yeah.
they would be exchanging this link to a website that I had created.
Yeah.
It was like a really strange thing to hear back then in 2005.
Yeah.
Because then those days you couldn't. These days you might some artists are very social and you might be able to get a contact pretty easily to some of your favorite your heroes. But those days it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Initially, there was a question about how initially the Fastfinger came together. It was largely, it's funny, but it's largely intuition. All the samurai, samurai thing was kind of it was because I was a fan of Samurai Jack, this cartoon thing on that was on Cartoon Network. So that was probably the reason. At those days I had been watching that quite a bit, and it was visually very beautiful. Yeah. So Fastfinger's character kind of very much was influenced by that guy. But it was kind of strange because I was never really into ninjas and stuff much at all. Well, I watched some movies as a kid, but it was kind of funny that I chose that kind of thing to pair with this like a perfectionist type of guitar player who wants every lick to be perfect and kind of that. But it was a perfect match, that samurai spirit thing, right. And that type of playing made it like a perfect match. And there was also influences from my favorite comic hero Mustanamio. That's Phantom, the ghost who walks. in English, Fantomen på svenska, and I don't know for any other languages.
Yeah.
But that guy who wears
one of the
blue
coolest
outfit.
cartoon, anyways.
Yeah, and when you think about why Fastfinger has this thing in the forehead, that's straight from Phantom. Also, if you ever see his underwear that might be over there, it has all actually stripes, just like Phantom has.
Yeah.
So, and why were there dwarves in first of all in that
So this
island?
is also
from Phantom.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny. I have to say, the world has changed. At some point, originally I didn't feel anything about it. I just did it because of Phantom, but they were like small dwarfs that were brown colored.
All right. Yeah.
So when it comes to these days, I couldn't imagine putting anything like that, because the world has really changed. Things you just and it was like, when you think about it, a white guy and these small dwarfs, brown colors, like what were I thinking? Well, I wasn't thinking, first of all.
Yeah, it came from the
that was coming from Mustanami. That thing. But actually, these days when we do that, well, I can't really stretch the little dwarfs to be gigantic dwarfs, but I changed the color to pink. So that shouldn't be. Hopefully, that's not a.
Well, not yet. Let's see where the world goes, because we have to see.
Yeah.
We have to see.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I'm gonna now force the topic back to its rails, because we are running out of time, and so I want to ask one particular question about making a living in music, in the music business, whatever you want to call it. But what you already talked about, making music, combining the animation, teaching guitar, so on, and well, you publish, or you've always published your music yourself, no record company.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about this decision, or was it a decision, or is it things just went that way, or?
Yeah. Well, around the time when I had just about almost, I started mixing the first debut album. I did to send the some of the tracks at least to one record company, and asked if they were interested in releasing it, and what kind of a deal they would suggest if they were interested. And I got a reply, and it was like they could have paid me like maybe 2,000 euro, and then I would have gotten some royalties afterwards with any sales. And that kind of got me thinking, well, 2,000 euros, and I kind of or should I keep everything to myself and just kind of figure out how to make money and sell it? And I didn't think at all about the record company deal. In at least in that moment, it didn't seem any appealing to me. And that's probably the record that I made most money anyway. Afterwards, when I'm looking, those days, people were still buying from iTunes and so on. But anyway, I definitely, that got me started to the thing that I just released music on my own. I know it's limited when it comes to, I have to do the promotion and everything myself, and I'm not that skilled with that. But sometimes you get some collaboration with companies like Hughes and Kettner when you got an album out, or we've done some funny things together, that movie and everything that kind of brought out the third album, and all the YouTube and things have helped, and these days marketing it's a hell of a lot cheaper also than putting back in the days, if you wanted the like a advertisement in a magazine or something, it's very different.
It's interesting to think that, or like to again, like looking at the past. People, I'm repeating myself, but watch that Rick Beato video. The big question: how to make a living in music, because it's a really great video to
I have to watch it.
To kind of reflect on what you're saying now, and the time you came into the scene with your music in the mid two or like late 2000s, like 2009, the first album, and so on and on and on. So
Yeah.
you were with your published music pretty like late in the game, comparing to or late in the game when watching that Rick Beato video, because that's really eye opener how dramatically everything has changed since the 90s to the early 2000s, especially towards the end of 2000s. So things have really dramatically changed, and at the same time, so short time has gone from that. Now it's 2021, and we're living. What I feel is that we're kind of living in this purgatory, call it, like that middle, between heaven and hell, or where it's kind of like we're in this kiirastuli in Finnish.
Yep.
A purgatory place where the making a living in music is so difficult, especially of course now the past year and a half, 2 years with the COVID and live performances for a lot of musicians and performing artists and freelancers and everybody, when it's been like extremely difficult, because hardly any money comes from published music anymore, and then so most performing artists make their money with live performances, and then you take that out of the equation and what is left, so things get really difficult. But also regarding the releasing music, releasing singles, releasing albums, and we're living in this era that is really unfair with the streaming services, how the money gets collected into that one pool, and how little amounts of it trickle to artists that are not Justin Bieber or Beyonce or one of these 10, 15, 20 most selling artists or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's the point of why I'm here, like rambling about this, is that it just feels that this is not where the evolution, this is not where it's going to end, and what you're doing, and now you need to do all this stuff yourself. But I would guess that we go 10 years forward, and so maybe let's hope there comes also some kind of mechanisms and systems that will help, like systems like I know that you have you're outsourcing your merchandise business, at least partly.
Yeah.
The t-shirt business is something that you don't need to ship every t-shirt
Or print.
or print every t-shirt. Like we don't need to print the t-shirts, and we don't need to. So our t-shirt. So people go to our t-shirt shop. This is the ad for this evening, and go also to Mika's, to Mr. Fastfinger t-shirt shop. But anyways, so we're both working in this way. We've been able to outsource that, and we don't need to work with those little things. But something functional worldwide with also published music that is kind of fair or more fair or something must come in time. I feel.
But should certainly hope so, and well, things are evolving all the time. It's just kind of seems that the direction should kind of somehow change, so that the actual artists actually make some money of the releases, without making some kind of weird. You have to be very creative and do some all kind of things to somehow at least make your own. To get back your own invested money in the production and so on when you make albums or records. I kind of just putting out a single or something, it doesn't really pay the production costs or anything. So you have to kind of learn to. Well, I found that if I'm putting an album, I need to somehow learn to make some kind of package that people feel like they want to. That gives something speciality that people like to pay for.
Yeah, and this independent way, like you've been doing, it's brilliant the way you're doing it. It's just that it's so much work for
it's a lot of work
for an individual, considering that still okay, it was a different world. We can't compare it that way, and it's just, and there's no reason whining about how things used to be and how things are, because the world changes. Nobody has ever promised that things will like remain a certain way forever, whether it's good or bad. It's changing. Like I've talked some of my earlier videos about the fragmentation of music business. Like 40 years ago, we had Eddie Van Halen, guitar superhero that everybody knew about, and in contrast to that, in the modern age, we don't really have those household guitar heroes anymore. The kind that A, everybody would know about, and B, who are young at this time. So, you know, like we don't have a single Eddie Van Halen who is in his 20s that everybody knows in everybody's living room and every TV, because it's just not that world anymore. It's not that mainstream world, and it's not that control. It's fragmented to little pieces, and instead of that, we have instead of these household names, we have also an endless spectrum of guitar heroes, like each one catering to their dedicated followers via whichever channel, like you're doing, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know if you're on TikTok, wherever people are. I'm not following that, but you know, when putting the nostalgic aspects aside, like you know, oh God, if things would just be like the way they used to be. Now we put that aside, and the world has changed, and that's that, and you know. So in the time we live now, it feels the way you are making music. It's even a more okay. It's difficult to make fortunes out of it. It's very rare in this world we live in. But at the same time, it could be seen also as more, I don't know, is it the right way to say, like fair way, in a way, or democratic way, or you know that it has fragmented in such way. I don't know. We're not really yet there where this kind of like making your living, the logistics of making your living in music in the modern age, it's not really working well. But so you need to be really stubborn. You need to work like crazy to make it work for you.
Yeah. Right now, for me, what really saves me is the teaching side of things. So I mean, having my own online shop for not only music but all the educational packages with the backing tracks and tablatures and videos and things. That there's a lot of the things that I mean this whole genre that that's my field. This whole instrumental rock, it's like a dinosaur thing, and we're getting rare and rare, and definitely not mainstream. And the audience is small, but the audience is kind of quite dedicated, and there's a lot of guys who want to play themselves as well, and they want to learn and get better on their instruments. That's kind of the thing with this genre, a special thing, and the educational packages that people can buy and use to work and learn and get better as guitar players, but also online teaching. I have my bunch of guitar students that I get to see every week or every second week or every third week, and then doing. I mean, I'm not a popular guy at all. I mean, I have a small audience there. There are a lot of passionate listeners, but the teaching side really, saves me. And I mean, doing. I'm lucky to have some kind of like a collaborators, like the school still in Germany, the Modern Music School. I just like 2 weeks ago, I went there to teach a bunch of students after all these years. I mean, 15 years, I still do that. And then they're like Finnish Rockway. I did some instructional package this summer, and that got me some income and JTC Jamtrack Central. I haven't done anything for them in few years, but we've been talking about doing something next year to kind of get me back on track on that thing. And it's a lot of this has to do with the instructional side, but I'm actually I'm very happy about it because it kind of feels natural as well, because Mr. Fastfinger,
exactly,
it was about sharing the knowledge and the skills and whatever you have with others. That was always part of this thing. If there's entertainment and there's teaching side of things and music side of things, all these three together, it seems to be good balance. And the balance is everything.
And the kind of identity of Mr. Fastfinger, it's still like you get the vibe of sensei. I mean, teacher. So he's a teacher, and that obviously trickles down to what people kind of see you as, and I think it is part of your identity as well.
It is, and it's kind of funny. I wasn't dreaming of becoming a guitar teacher or anything like that when I created the character. I didn't have any thoughts like that, to be honest. And I just created
subconsciously, maybe.
It was just intuition, whatever. Things just kind of happened, and I drew kind of a certain way. I kind of drew some kind of target me in that character. And I can tell you it's been a lot of work to be able to play like that cartoon player. But I'm getting closer and closer every day.
I'm going to bring up, so I need short answers from you because we're running over time, and we have the highlight of our stream is still yet to be done, which is the guitar lesson that you promised to do for us. But I'm gonna bring short answers. David Shaw asking, somebody else asked the same question. Somebody says, what amp is Mika using? That I can even answer to that. No, I can't. Well, I can say the brand. Hughes & Kettner. You know better than that. But David also asked, do you use amp simulations?
No.
Amp sims?
Yes and no.
I don't ask the same thing.
Let me get this.
Okay, and remember, short answer only, or I will cut you.
Yeah. This is my amp, and I even played with this amp live last Friday at the big club.
It's so small that it's almost an amp sim.
But it's all analog. There's
I'm kidding.
It's
so small.
But that's the amp. But I'm using it as a like a sort of like a preamp. It's like it has a power amp simulation and everything. It has you can connect this to a cabinet, but I'm not using it actually like that. I'm just using the direct output. Then there's some effects, and then it goes to this other box, this white box, which is a cabinet simulation. So I use a cabinet simulation, and that has also a power amp simulation that I use to boost the tone a little bit extra as well. So that's why I said yes and no to simulations. No amp simulation actually, but the little bit of power amp simulation and the cabinet, yes.
Okay, I'm going to bring another comment. Mibu says here, not really a question, but I need to bring this because it's a good comment. Crazy idea can be not to need any money at all for all people. And yes, I applaud to the thought, let's work to that direction. But I don't know how, but let's...
Well, one of my secrets how I actually do make it is the fact that it's not the high income that I need. It's the low costs of life that I try to, and I'm kind of being able to live like. So, I mean, everything.
Yeah.
I don't have a mortgage or rents to pay. Obviously, I have a car that eats a lot of money at times and stuff, but and house needs taken care of. But it's there's no like I don't. I try not to play. I try not to live expensive life in that way. So I don't need to buy absolutely every piece of new gear that comes out. I would love to buy new Ruokangas guitars every month, but have to, save some money at times.
We'll work on that. But now we're going to move on.
That sounds good.
Yes. Now we're going to move on. I have one more question to you before your lesson. What would you say to the teenager who has just fallen in love with guitar, with music, and he or she stands there at the beginning of the path where you were at the age of whatever, 10, 12, not quite knowing where to turn? Like, what would you say to that person?
Well, I would say use the instrument for good and use it the way you feel like using it. Don't trust any old Finnish guys or any other guys how to play the guitar. Do it your way. And if you like the old Finnish guy how he's playing, then take a lick or a lesson from him, or study the type of guitar playing that you find interesting, and sit down with the instrument and try to invent your own pentatonic scale or whatever. It's really cool if you can figure out your own ideas, even though whenever you invent a new idea that you think it's nobody else ever invented, you can be sure that somebody already did that.
Chances are that somebody else. But it's all, but it is, like, I think you've maybe mentioned elsewhere on another video somewhere something about, or we've at least talked about it, like getting to that state of like child's play, like it's like we used to do when we were playing as kids. That state of mind, state of mind of creation and creativity, and inspiration.
Play with the instrument like you play with the toys. So don't take it too seriously. That's the key to not only happiness but also to creativity and discoveries as well. So I'm a fan of creating things, but some guys are happy about playing other people's songs, learning just licks, or working on technique, or getting a perfect technique, whatever. They might use their whole lifetime doing that, and it's up to everyone to do whatever they like to do with their instruments. As I think it's all good as long as you don't hurt yourself or anybody else around you. So do it. Use it for good. That's
don't hurt the little pink dwarfs either.
No.
It's good to remember also that
entertain those dwarfs.
Make it entertaining. And I think what I'm getting from this and like learning from listening to you, and it's good to remember that it's your. That's your path. You found your path, which is a unique path to you. It has all these ingredients from different directions, but it's something that you've come up with, and there's not really anybody else who has that story to tell. So, and all of us are the same in that way. Everybody have our own, and it's good to remember that you don't need to rush if you're in the beginning of the path. You don't need to rush to find the right way. I mean, oftentimes life comes to these crossroads, and being an entrepreneur, which you, Mika, and I both are. We're entrepreneurs. Also, it's good to remember that is not for everyone, because it is so much work, and it's also
exciting.
It's exciting, but it's also, it can be work where you're sacrificing other aspects of life. So being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. There's many aspects of it, but at the end of the day, that drive to push forward, like you've done. it has to come from within you. It can't come from any place else. It has to be within you, that passion or that kind of conviction that to push through with your thing. Kind of like that. If you need a pep talk to be convinced, then don't go for it. Don't do it if you need a pep talk. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe it's a bit a harsh way to do it, and sometimes pep talks are very good and useful. But if you're thinking that, oh, that would be a cool thing, and then somebody that somebody needs to convince you that, yeah, go for it, but you're not kind of like, you don't have that drive built within you. It's not likely that you're gonna have the energy and have the patience to through all the hard times, because there's gonna be hard times. You need a lot of
usually
passion.
whenever I've chosen a weird project that didn't really work out or something, it's many times I felt it right from the beginning that there's something awkward about it or something funny about it. It doesn't feel like my thing. So if you don't feel like becoming an entrepreneur or something, then maybe you might become one, but the time is not right yet. So always listen to your heart as well. Always keep pushing yourself forward, but also, Yeah.
Okay, so time is running.
Your guitar.
I promised last week that I'd ask you to show us, teach us, sensei, please, a secret lick with guitar, preferably something that sounds super cool but isn't too difficult.
Yeah. Well,
okay, I'm gonna grab my guitar.
Actually, I was thinking what it would be. Then I changed my mind. It's not a lick.
Okay,
but it's
grab your guitars.
That would
grab your guitars as well. So we'll practice together.
Yeah. And the thing is, yes. So you said you're a pentatonic. You're really relying on that pentatonic scale, right?
Are you gonna take me outside my comfort zone?
Yeah, but there's a very nice little trick that could be interesting, unless you already do that. But I don't know. So, what's your favorite key for the pentatonic?
My favorite key.
Yeah, pick your favorite key.
We can go from A.
Yeah, I would have guessed that, but
yeah.
So I'm guessing you know some pentatonic licks, and I don't know how you play. I'm not sure. Well, I've heard you.
That was the first note.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but this is not the thing. But
okay.
Anyway, so your fingering for the pentatonic, minor pentatonic, is probably this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Dorian mode?
No. This is the first time I heard of it.
It's a very it's kind of like it's pentatonic. It's not pentatonic, but it's a scale that can be used in blues type of playing, and it has a really cool sound. And
Okay.
I have a special thing for you, and that's called. Is this still on?
Yep.
Oh yeah. So I have a special thing called Pentatonic Dorian, and this is a game. It's a fun game. Trust me. The thing is that, well, if you play the scale and think of numbers, in music theory you put numbers to scales. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you have a full scale, like minor scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is always a octave. Never mind the theory, but you play the minor pentatonic like. You play that. Now, this note, you are not allowed to play that anymore.
Okay.
Instead you play one note right below that, so it's.
Okay.
So drop your finger. No. Not just that one note.
Okay.
So you play like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it continues. So if you play the any of your blues licks or pentatonic licks, you have to learn the other one. So if you continue normally, but here when you play forward, this note, and you find this one. This note is the same as this one, so it's not allowed, and you have to pull that note one step lower. So you have, and so you have a full scale. That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did Mika disappear? No signal. Have we lost Mr. Fastfinger? We have. Oh my god. And we're almost hour and a half. Are you there?
Woo,
okay,
back.
Your camera went.
I don't know why. It's just some kind
I
of
was
limit.
freaking out because I was thinking that now I have to teach everybody the lick, but I have no freaking idea. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. And the idea is that if you previously were playing like.
Yeah.
Now you just play.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you can. And you can start jamming like let's try this. So you slide into the seventh fret now. Yeah, and you just do like. Yeah.
Okay.
And you just combine that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can, and if you want to really cool Dorian sound, you can end your phrases with that magical sharp sixth. That's in Dorian mode. That's the note that really makes it sound. The quality of that mode in general.
Okay.
That's the note. And it's kind of funny too. And when you play. If you play typical blues, that note, like that, that's actually the.
It is that, isn't it?
It's that same note.
Okay.
So this works really well with boogie riffs. Shit.
There he goes again. Yeah. Chris is right. He was too fast. That's why he's... Okay, so I'm gonna... Dorian mode. This is gonna be my... Okay. I can't hear you. Now I can hear you.
You can?
Now I can hear you. But it's very different sound from before.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's
All
wait a
right.
second. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, if you can hear me now, let's be happy.
Okay, so you're with okay, so you changed camera.
Yeah. This is just a laptop, so
Yeah, right.
I think that damn camera is overheating. So it was.
Okay. But this is fine.
It's not good for that. It's not good for streaming a long time. It appears. So yeah, sorry about that. But this is now VHS quality, so we continue. But but we basically did what we kind of what I want to teach you. The idea is that the way I'm using this Dorian pentatonic,
Yeah.
you can mix it with the blues scale.
Okay.
And whatever licks. But the way I tend to play this over a blues progression, if you want to, with the first one chord, I might play the basic pentatonic. But then when the fourth chord, during this chord, it's really good to play that. Really works well. It's really nice that fourth.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. and if you just if you now you sit the whole night there with your guitar there after this streaming ends, and you know there is a cool stuff with this little change, and you can play shapes like, so if you hear, so you have a different. You have 7 on 10.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're fingering the microphone is right there in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, using that along with. But this really works well with this 4 chord.
Yeah.
But it works as a standalone blues kind of stuff. With that 7, but as a game to kind of for a while try not to play that note at all. Skip that note.
Okay, yeah. So skipping it, yeah.
It's a cool one, yeah. Yeah, that's a cool riff. It seems like you're already getting some
ideas out of that.
Yeah. I might continue noodling a bit after this.
And if you want chords to play with, if you want really good chords for opportunity to play with this, you can have that minor chord with the A, but then for the a major chord over here. So if you play D major,
Okay.
because when you play that D major, the third actually has that that magic.
Again, it's there. Yeah.
So put together these chords. So you
Yeah. Okay.
and you could have another major chord there in C. So C and D major chord and A minor. And then you soon can go like
Soon
Kinda like-
I go. Okay. Okay.
cool.
Okay. Cool.
That was the lesson.
Thank
The
you.
next lesson
Dorian
we will
mode. Like somebody named it here already. Poo Ninja named it the Dorian Gray mode.
Gray, a Dorian Gray.
Do you remember?
Right.
Do you remember the book Dorian Gray? Or
I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
You change one more note, and you'll get melodic minor, and then you can go and
Okay,
then you can go for augmented arpeggio.
That's for the next time. One note is enough, you know, because
Yeah.
I have only one brain cell available for this stuff.
I know, and that was the idea. I'll say that for the next time. So
Yeah. Okay, that was fun, and we are about ready to call it a day. I think.
yeah,
I think
it's doing-
we got a lot done, which is kind of we're like over 1.5 hours into this, which is almost a record with the
shit.
streams. It's all right, you know. We set the rules here, so no worries about that. Mika, I thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I'm sure we'll see soon again, somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Did I hear that you have some whammy bars over there?
yeah, I do. Yeah, you want to see them?
Well, we might be
Just a second.
driving through around there very soon tomorrow.
You might. Okay. Wait a second. No, shit. Sorry, they're downstairs. I remember that I had them here, but they're not. But anyways, you can play as an ending lick, and then I'm gonna kick you out of this broadcast.
All right, I'll make some ambient noises with the system.
Because the sound is so. Now when it comes from this system, we can hear something.
Oh, sorry, it's from the shit system. Oh, crap it.
Yeah, but anyways, it's okay. It's a lo-fi system. So we're getting people are here thanking and saying sending regards to you, Mika, and Mibu says thank you, Mika, for the interview and the lesson. Chris says yes, 10 out of 10, very nice. Blah 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 blah. Thank you everybody.
Thanks,
And-
everyone. Yeah, I'm seeing some of these as well here.
But now your voice is like a computer, very weird computer voice with lots of crackling.
We are the robots.
Okay, this is now the spookiest ever ending of an interview. Which, so I'm gonna kick you out now. And thank you, Mika, and good night.
Right.
You have to listen to that afterwards when the live is over. Oh God. All right, folks. Next week I'll have. That was weird. I'll have yet another guest, another phenomenal artist next week. A guitarist, a dear friend. I'm talking about Petteri Sariola, another Finnish guitarist, guitar hero, guitar acrobat. We'll hear another story of how to make a living in music, and maybe he can teach us also something. Never know. We'll see about that. Who knows? These licks might be our ticket to stardom as guitarists. Your and mine, that we are learning here. Dorian mode, for example. This is all new to me. I've been using that note, but I didn't know it's Dorian mode. I've been using it as to spice up my pentatonic scale sometimes, but now when I wasn't allowed to use the actual seventh note, it was more difficult than I thought, and very interesting, very intriguing. I think I'm gonna stay noodling here after this is over, like I already mentioned. Anyways, yeah, ticket to stardom. I'll keep on dreaming about that. And yeah, so guys, until next week, take care of your loved ones. Peace, love, and good music. Good night.